Welcome back, everyone, to Jones Stadium in Lubbock, Texas. TCU against the Red Raiders. Quinn Kesnick, interesting tradition when it comes to tortillas here, right?
A West Texas tradition that dates back 30 years, the tossing of the tortillas. It'll feel like Taco Tuesday on a Saturday night. A couple nuances. You got to cut a hole in the middle of them so they fly further. And at the opening kickoff right now, this student section behind me, it's going to be raining tacos down here. No carne, no guacamole, no verde. How do you get them into the game? Well, that's your own personal secret. Is it under the hat? Is it tucked into your pants? Are they in your boots?
Hey, Q, don't get hit by a tortilla shell, all right? I'm just happy that it's 93 degrees outside, Roberts. If it does come to a case where, you know, one of these flying things hit somebody, it won't be frozen.
Yeah, that's very true. And at least ours weren't. We got to put ours in a bag. Like you were saying, they're putting those tortillas in some pretty soft places.
Yeah, buddy. Red Raiders win the opening toss, and they end up kicking and deferring to the second half.
If you're wondering why I'm laughing, it's because I just threw about 3 tortillas, and the fans below
They don't know where it's coming
they
from.
don't know where it's coming from.
There's another look at what it looked and felt like.
Woo-wee. I wouldn't want to get hit with one of those.
Look at that. Yeah, I'll throw a little block on one of those bad boys and be just about right for lunch. Dinner. 1st and 10 from the 25 for the Horned Frogs. Max Duggan, the starting quarterback, 2-0 against Texas Tech, and we've had a whistle and an infraction here.
False start, offense number 55, 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Flag against TCU. Duggan completing 63% of his passes. 8 touchdown tosses this year against just 2 interceptions. Quarterback that led TCU in rushing yardage a season ago, the former Iowa High School Player of the Year. Looking at first down here from the 20 now. Handed off to Evans. He's their home run hitter in the backfield, getting on the loose and getting outside. And he picks up the first down and a lot more on his first touch of the ball game. He picks up 26, Robert.
Oh, yeah. You see Evans right here. He's got the 2 pulling linemen right there making a hole for him. And that's the thing with Texas Tech with that 3 down front. If you do not fill those gaps by the linebackers, it gives the running back a lot of room to work with.
Nice gain out to the 45-yard line. First down and 10. Frog with one of the more prolific rushing attacks in the entire country, not just the Big 12 Conference. Evans again. Nice seam, great spin, and on the loose. Evans finally corralled and brought down. The ball came loose. Let's wait for a signal. It came loose. Zach Evans appeared to lose it before he hit the ground. And the fight for the football continues on that 35-yard gain by Evans. Still no signal. And it's going to be TCU football. Evans recovered his own loose ball.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the offense.
You see Evans, right? He gets through the line, gets to the flipsy-do, keeps his feet, great balance. But then when we talk about ball security as a running back, oh, he's too loose with it, and they pull it out. It definitely comes out before he's down, as you spoke about. But, man, I don't know who got the ball back, because I don't know what they had to do at the bottom of that pile.
Right.
And I don't think they're going to tell anybody either.
His helmet came off. He had to come out of the ball game. There he is on the sidelines. Andre Miller in for him, number 33. 6-foot sophomore. And nowhere to go that time. Duggan kept it himself. Brought down by Rico Jeffers, one of the leaders defensively for Texas Tech.
That was such a nice job by Rico Jeffers right there making that play. I'm more than sure Texas Tech has nightmares of Max Duggan running the power read, as last year he ran for an 81-yard touchdown against them on that very play.
Yeah, he gashed them running the football several times. Miller still in the ball game in the backfield. 2 receivers to the top of your screen. Darius Davis, the inside receiver. He's their home run hitter on the field today. They're down a couple of wideouts. This is Miller getting to the edge. Ran over his own man and gets inside the 5. And it's going to be 1st and goal for the Horned Frogs. Coming out with a lot of energy. And a good block up front by Brandon Coleman on that 14-yard gain. Gary Patterson has to love what he sees early. Another handoff. And down to the 3-yard line, it's Miller again. Stopped up front by Bonasaur. Miller in for Zach Evans. Gain of 2 on that last play. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
It's been a heavy dosage of run plays to start this game, hasn't it?
They're missing J.T. Spielman, missing Quentin Johnston, a couple of prolific wideouts. Duggan. He's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage on a predetermined quarterback run. Jeffers there making his 2nd tackle.
Jonesy, I said you talked about it. They're missing so many receivers, right? They're missing Johnson. They're missing Spillman. They're also missing their starting left guard and right guard, John Lands and Wes Harris. And they're still coming out here playing a physical ball game, saying they're going to run the ball right down Texas Tech's throat.
They've been very efficient in the red zone this year. You saw the graphic a moment ago. Duggan pulls it out. Taken off. Is it caught? Touchdown! Brown with the game's first score. The freshman got low and got his hands underneath the football just when it looked like Duggan was going to take off, Robert.
Yes, it did. And he got low, didn't he? Quincy Brown, man. We talked with them this week, and they talked to us about how Quincy Brown was the star of camp, and they wanted to get him more involved. But Duggan here does a good job getting out, drawing the defense to him. And then here's Mr. Brown. Oh, it hit the ground.
We might have to take another look at that.
Rico Jeffers sitting there saying, hey, that's incomplete. He had a better view than we did, but it certainly looked like that ball hit the ground.
Here's another look at it. And it might appear different from this angle.
Yeah, guys, that's coming back.
Blurry, but looked like it might have hit the turf before his hand. That's a blur. That's a little inconclusive. The call on the field is a touchdown.
Field of a touchdown is under review.
So the replay official going to take a look at this score if it stands, but even if it doesn't, Robert, what an opening impressive drive up to this point for Duggan and the offense for TCU. Just what the doctor ordered coming into this game.
If you're Texas Tech, you would think that this is what they're going to do coming in the game, right? They're missing out on these receivers, and you see here another replay of Quincy Brown going down. The only thing I could say, right, the white jersey makes it pretty blurry, but if he catches it and it doesn't hit the ground first, but it's simultaneous, maybe, just maybe they'll say there's not enough evidence to overturn the catch.
Well, Quincy Brown, who makes the catch there, if it stands, was one of the real stars of the Horned Frogs fall camp. And they've been thinking about ways to try and get him the ball more. Look at his hands. It appears like it's underneath.
Close, man.
That's a catch.
It's close. His hands are underneath the ball. They're grasping the side of it, but you got to see what the ref is going to say about whether the ball hit the ground first or he had control first.
Still taking a look at it. If it stands, it'll be the 9th touchdown pass of the season for Max Duggan.
I can tell you what, if they're looking at the same camera angle that we saw the first time, wearing those white jerseys might pay off.
Right.
There's a little bit of blur on the camera.
The play, ruling on the field of a touchdown, stands as called.
All right, Gary Patterson raises his arms in the air, signals touchdown, and the Horned Frogs with the game's first score, and that's the first career touchdown for Quincy Brown, the freshman out of Louisiana.
You know, some offenses say we're going to throw the ball down and run it in. Well, TCU just said we're going to run the ball all the way down in the red zone and throw it in. Great opening drive for them. They're starting fast today.
Coming into this ball game, the number of touches and carries for Zach Evans was a point of contention for some people following TCU. Well, we're finding out early that Gary Patterson isn't just a defensive-minded guru. His offense percolating, cooking when we come back to Lubbock.
The tortilla here in this stadium. Meanwhile, on the Texas Tech sideline, defensive coordinator Keith Patterson doing some damage control, where his defense looked a little more like Swiss cheese on that opening drive, Jones.
Yeah, they got sliced, diced, and a lot more. But a chance now for the Red Raiders to answer. Down 7-0. On the kick. They'll come out 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line for their starting quarterback, Henry Colombi, who became the starter midway through the Texas game a couple of weekends ago when Shuck was injured. As we take a look at tonight's Chick-fil-A impact players.
Oh, yeah, we got number 13, Eric Ezukama. He's a Sunday guy, big physical playmaker. They're happy to have him back from the concussion protocol. We got Sharadrick Thompson. He's a punishing runner, and he's coming on strong here. Then we got O'Shawn Mathis from TCU's defense. They need pressure out of this guy. And we got LaDainian Thomas' nephew out there playing really well.
Colombi had his pass tipped at the line of scrimmage by Mathis. Sean Mathis got his big arm up there. He's one of the more dynamic athletes for TCU defensively. Colombi comes into the ballgame completing 70% of his passes on the season. 6 touchdown tosses against 3 interceptions. Talked about how he came into the ballgame midway through that contest against Texas a couple of weekends ago, and in defeat was still extremely impressive, winning over the locker room. Hands it off to Thompson with a nice cutback. Got near the 30, brought down to the 28 by TJ Carter. The Memphis transfer picked up 3. Quickly, it's 3rd down for the Red Raiders. Colombi back to pass, backside heat. Gets it out to Thompson, who stumbles, falls forward. If he'd been able to keep his balance, Robert, he'd had himself a 1st down. Instead, it'll be a 3-and-out for Texas Tech.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Henry Colombi, right? He's poised, he's calm, he goes through his progressions. As you see him here, he works the field from the middle to the left, and he sees his check down, knowing that if this guy gets the catch and keeps his feet, he's gonna look. There's nobody there. Even Colombi can see it. Don't let the hair confuse you. This man can play. He just needs his guys to help him along the way.
4th down, and into punt comes McNamara. Last year, they had a special teams cataclysm in this ball game. Had a punt blocked as this one returned by Davis, 3 yards. They had one blocked, had one partially blocked, gave up over 100 yards in punt return yardage. That punt went 55 yards, 3 on the return. It'll be 1st and 10 for TCU on their 2nd possession of this football game.
And we talked, and Q said that last time they softened the tortilla, right?
Okay.
But they really ran through this Texas Tech defense. There was holes everywhere. And when I say run through, I mean they ran through them like some bad Tex-Mex in the belly, okay?
Oh, boy.
So here we go. Again, you got Max Duggan leading the way. But, man, oh, man, was Zach Evans not impressive on that last drive?
Sure was. He's back in the football game right now after giving way again to Miller. Came in to finish off that previous scoring drive. 7 plays, 75 yards. Evans again through a yawning hole on that offensive line. Picks up 8, brought down by Eric Monroe. But Brandon Coleman and Mobina Eze making a nice size hole.
When you watch Evans from behind, you just see the quick feet, the power, the strength. I don't know what Texas Tech needs to do. It's not just bring a guy, an extra defender in the box to stop it, but up front, they have to start playing behind the line of scrimmage instead of letting the offensive line push them down the field.
3 consecutive games of over 100 yards rushing. And off to a great start here this evening. It's another shot. Catching hold, he's off into the open field and brought down at the 45-yard line. Another huge chunk of real estate. He got 26 on that caliber. Monroe finally making the tackle.
Now listen, Zach Evans is a great running back, but those big fellas up front are making sure he's not getting touched till almost 20 yards down the field. He is living the dream right now. On the first drive, he had runs of 25 and 35 yards, and he's just keeping it going. He's already almost at 100 yards.
Let's give Evans a little bit of context here. He's the first 5-star recruit to sign for Gary Patterson. Gets another opportunity here. Toes through those tackles and gains about 4. Colin Schooler making the tackle, and once again, his helmet comes off. 2nd time.
Look at this. You see this. Texas Tech here, they're in their homecoming game. They're getting just run through right now. And you see this player from Texas Tech tell Evans, hey, man, I got to give credit where credit's due. Call a spade a spade. You're an awesome player. But, man, I know right now they need to stop with the sportsmanship and make sure they stop him from running all over.
Some coaches make you run if you help the other guy out. 2nd and 6. That's DeMercado picking up 2 yards, his first carry. Amari DeMercado out of Inglewood, California, Los Angeles. 5'11" senior. So that's the 3rd different running back, Robert, that has gotten touches today. Evans on the sideline still. 3rd down coming up. Ball just inside the 40-yard line. 2nd possession of the ball game for the Horned Frogs.
If they're being aggressive today, I would expect them to run the ball here and play for 3rd and 4th down.
Duggan fires, complete. Let's see where they mark this. It's caught by Conwright, and a very propitious, favorable spot for the 1st down. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is a home game for Tech. You would not expect the ref to get that kind of spot. Wow.
At the 35-yard line. That's generous.
Right? I said I thought they might run the ball here, but what do? They run a nice arrow concept, get the ball to number 22, but I don't see how he got that 1st down there. But hey, I'm not on the field. I'm up here calling the game.
Evans again hitting the edge and close to another 1st down. They are just slicing the front. DeMercado on the carry that time.
You see here, it's not just Zach Evans, right? We got Amari DeMercado right here cutting through the Texas Tech defense. They have to find a way to set the edge and stop giving TCU creases all over the field.
8-yard gain on the play. DeMercado still the lone tailback, going to get another opportunity. Boy, great surge up front and tackled by Wilson. Tyree Wilson, the 6'6" junior out of London, Texas.
That's what I'm talking about, Tyree Wilson, right? Don't just set the edge or set the line and stay there. Get in the backfield. Make these guys have to play behind the sticks. As you see here, they're in a long 3rd down situation. This is what Texas Tech needs to do up front. Play in the backfield and don't let them get started.
3rd down and 8. Got to get close to the 25-yard line for the
Texas
1st
Tech
down.
calls their first time out of the
Max
half.
Duggan is going to talk things over with the brain trust on the sidelines. We'll be right back after this. Back to the action. A gaping hole for Miller. Has the 1st down and then some. He's off. Cribbed it. Touchdown, TCU. 33 yards for number 33, Miller. And a stunned silence falling on Jones Stadium here in Lubbock, Texas. Deafening silence as the Horned Frogs go up 13-0.
Well, Zach Evans can lose his helmet all he wants when you got backups running the ball like this with Kendre Miller, man. Wow. I'm going to show you the hole when we get an opportunity, and you're going to see just how many of us in this stadium could have fit through that hole they just created for him. This offensive line is playing at a high level right now.
High snap. But Kell gets it through, and it's 14-0. Miller, Evans, DeMercado, all doing a great job on the ground.
Oh, yeah, and you know, some people just love defensive football, but there's something beautiful about getting scores. When we get back, I'm going to show you exactly how it happened. So I talked to you about how I was going to show you how that happened, and it starts with Steve Avilu and Coy McMillan, the center and left guard. They create this hole. This hole, Shaquille O'Neal, Rikishi, and a couple dump trucks I saw outside could have got through there. But Kendre Miller sees the hole, and the beautiful thing for him is he has the speed to explode through it, and then he finishes. He finds the end zone, and right now TCU is running away with this ball game.
The Raiders could use a nice big return here. Geiger back for the kick. It's going to come out 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. 6:29 to go. Let's go back to Matt Berry in the studio. Seeing it out to his right. And Thompson picks up a 1st down for the Red Raiders. Boy, TCU doing a great job on the ground. A lot of it coming from Evans, but he's getting a lot of great help, too. Over 150 yards rushing total already.
We ain't even out the first quarter yet.
And the leader's still running.
Wow.
The 37, Thompson again. Moves the pile a little bit and picks up about 3 out to the 40-yard line. Well, tomorrow on NFL Countdown, one-on-one with both Dak Prescott and Joe Burrow. Plus, Randy Ranks missed the season opener against Houston, a game that he did after going through a shoulder injury earlier in camp. Now back and healthy. Backside heat. Columbia got it off in time to Kalen Geiger. The Troy transfer picks up the first down into TCU territory. He picks up 13.
Nice job here by Henry Columbia. He got the little RPO under duress, but what does he do? He stands calm, poised in the pocket, and makes a great throw to Kalen Geiger, who's really coming on in the last 3 games where these guys are making plays.
And the JUCO star from the 45. Tharp in motion, now sets in the slot. Columbia hands it off to Xavier White, and White with a nice run. He picks up about 7.5 yards. White, a versatile talent in the backfield, a good receiver and ball carrier, Robert.
Oh, yeah. He's, what is that, Xavier White? He's a former wide receiver, and he's a jack of all trades for them. He runs the ball. He's had great production getting it down the field. And then when it comes to catching the ball in the backfield, I don't think there's a matchup that they don't like with this young man in the open field.
What a guy that last year showed his toughness. Played through a dislocated shoulder midway through the season. 2nd down and 3. White again stumbled, but picked up the first down. At about 3.5, Wyatt Harris making the stop for TCU. Well, the best way to help out that TCU run defense, Robert, which was a big thing, was keeping them off the field, right? I mean,
exactly. Texas Tech has struggled stopping the run. Obviously, you see they have TCU has 150 yards rushing, but this is a big drive for Texas Tech's offense, because when you want to go fast, the problem is if you get shut down, you put your defense right back out on the field. And I know the defenders are loving it right now as they see their offense moving the ball progressively.
Couple backs beside Columbia. 1st and 10 from the 35. Gets it out quickly, and what a hit in the secondary from TJ Carter. He unloaded.
I mean, TJ.
Yeah.
I was going to say TJ Carter had just got thrown out last week for a targeting, and he can really hit, can he?
Big time. Matt Wells says this is the huge game for us. We're playing at home against a quality opponent, trying to snap that 2-game losing streak against them, and a win here puts them at 5-1 overall, with Kansas coming up next. Very favorable schedule. 2nd down and 1. Morton in at quarterback, and he takes off. Roderick Thompson on the carry. 23 yards, and it's 1st and goal.
We saw this a little bit for them last week. They brought in Donovan Smith at quarterback because they love his ability to run. But what do? They use him as a decoy this time. He makes a great read, hands the ball off to Roderick Thompson, and boom, now they're in business in the red zone.
Roderick Thompson, Donovan Smith got a lot of action early in the game last week. 1st and goal from the 4. Columbia back in. Out of the shotgun. Hands it off to Thompson. And walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Red Raiders. Big time answer for Texas Tech's offense. It's his 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
Can't you feel the energy in the stadium now, right? When it's 14-0, the crowd's not involved. But it's homecoming. These people here, they want to see their Red Raiders win. And that touchdown puts them right back in the thick of it.
Extra point is clean. And so Roderick Thompson caps an 8-play, 75-yard drive. Started on their own 25 and ends in a touchdown. Texas Tech looking to feed him the ball some more. This helps set it up, Robert.
Yes, this was an RPO that they ran earlier in the drive. Right, Henry Columbia standing in the pocket, poise, control, even with bodies flying all around them. And I can't wait to show you guys just how this type of concept is big, not only in the air raid, but also for Texas Tech.
Sending Cumby, the first-year offensive coordinator for Texas Tech, formerly of TCU. Spent a lot of time over there and with the competitor.
Yeah, he said it's an emotional game for him, right? Maybe it took him about, what, 13 minutes to get really into the flow of the game, wipe those tears off his eye, and go after those guys that he worked with for so long.
I don't know about crying.
Yeah,
there's no crying in football, right? There's no crying in football.
There is some crying in football, I can tell you that
You're
right
pulling
now.
the heartstrings a little bit, yeah. Come on. First and 10 from the 25-yard line.
Wrong. If you play the pass, wrong. That's the air raid. They make you make a choice, and you're always wrong.
There's Evans again, picks up about 4, close to 5 now. Let's go back to the studio. Hey, we had Wake Forest a little bit earlier. They're for real.
Oh, they are for real. They are playing at a high level. Look at that. They just found a way to win that game. That's what winners do.
Second down and 6 for TCU. Hand off again to Zach Evans. Houston, Texas, the sophomore. Picks up a few. Well, our week 5 has already gone over 100 yards on the ground, and the meter is still running here, folks. We haven't even gotten through the entire first quarter. He's going to add to the total here and pick up a first down. Schooler making the tackle on the play for Texas Tech, but not early enough. That's going to be a first down for TCU.
Man,
Evans, a guy that initially committed to Georgia coming out of high school, decommitted. Got some very persuasive phone calls from the coaching staff at TCU and decided to sign with them.
I'm pretty sure Gary Patterson probably sang him game on.
Hey,
you know?
Yeah. Or take a step back.
Yeah, one of the two.
He got a couple hits. Not a one-hit wonder.
No, not at all.
Same. First and 10. Duggan unloads. What a great catch up high. Savion Williams with that tremendous catch radius at 6'5", Robert. As a quarterback, you appreciate that, right?
Yeah, Max Duggan was a little off on that throw, but Savion Williams made him look good. What do we call that? HBO. Help a brother out.
First and 10 as a result, out to the 49. Duggan with all day. Duggan taking a shot downfield. Got a man caught at the 5-yard line by Darius Davis. Got in behind Rashad Williams, and it's first and goal, Horned Frogs. 44 yards on the catch.
Oh, wow, Max Duggan, they've been talking to him all week about the deep ball. Just let it fly, young man, let it fly. Don't pull the trigger, but right there, oh, right in the bread basket.
The first quarter. Timeout of the field.
And what a way to end the first 15 minutes of play for TCU. Duggan, Evans, Davis, Dynamite, Horned Frogs ready to score again on the threshold when we come back for the start of the second quarter.
I want you guys to watch this. TCU's in their bag. They run this bunch set to get these 2 defenders circled out of there. They run a 3 vertical combination to get one-on-one with the corner right there, Rashad Williams. And then the quarterback, Max Duggan. Oh, my goodness, what a beautiful throw. That might have been the best throw he's thrown all year.
Evans scoots in for the touchdown, and TCU on the board again. They go up 20-7. Zach Evans signing off on the touchdown.
Look at this, Zach Evans just, offensive lineman, running, pulling, getting the hold, and then what does he do? Boom, 3 defenders. Man, y'all can't tackle me. TCU is in their bag right now. They cooking in the kitchen.
Man.
We talked about it. They're like a boxer right now. They're throwing body blows, and they go up top with the play-action pass. I mean, this is beautiful offensive football right now.
You saw the shot there of Evans alongside his coach, Gary Patterson. Patterson was really perturbed by the fact that Evans wasn't generating a lot of buzz amongst local media. Well, Evans' game is doing his talking right now, and as for the singing, his coach says it's game on.
Took a step back, went home, and then they committed.
Yeah. Hey, when coach can be his own closer like that in a living room singing to a recruit's parents, and getting that signature, Quint.
He's got
the whole package, man.
He's got the decent voice when he isn't hoarse. Growing up in Western Kansas, he learned to play the guitar when he was a 6th grader, and really taught himself to play by ear, and would play wedding events where he told us you only had to be good for 2 hours.
The multi-talented, multi-skilled head coach, Gary Patterson, 21 years on the sidelines for TCU. And his team trying to snap that 2-game losing streak. 1st and 10, Texas Tech from their own 25. Little RPO tipped up and picked off. Hodges Tomlinson, pick 6. He's got the ticket. Off the hands of Miles Price. And if Tomlinson sounds familiar, you say LT when it comes to TCU, and you know what time it is.
Oh my, Travius. Hodges Tomlinson here. He's just in the right place at the right time. Miles Price drops it, and I can tell you, when you're doing good things and you're playing hard for your team, good things happen for you. Tomlinson last week moved to safety because T.J. Carter got ejected for a targeting penalty, and he ended up being their leading tackler. This guy is a leader. He's a football junkie. He just loves the game.
And Robert, the nephew, as I alluded to, the nephew of LaDainian Tomlinson, doing a great job. His 2nd interception of the season, and boy, Henry Colombi busted, disgusted, and not to be trusted right now. His team down big, but remaining upbeat, trying to when we come back. They've got a daunting task ahead right now, down 21 points. Just underway here, too, in the 2nd quarter play. They'll start off 1st down and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Henry Colombi, starting quarterback, the guy that transferred from Utah State. As we look at Hodges Tomlinson, who had the pick 6 a moment ago.
Now,
one of the leaders defensively.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've seen this song and dance before from Texas Tech. They started slow, then they come back, and they've been a slow starting team this year. And that's to just give the fans hope. But we want to see these guys around Henry Colombi come out and help him get them back in this game. He's going to need them to make plays in order for them to get back in.
Colombi, his receiver was covered. He's going to do things with his feet. Brought down for a gain about 1 on the play, tackled by D. Winters. 6'1" junior, Columbia, former 3-star recruit from Chaminade High School down there in South Florida. Fertile recruiting grounds. Initially went to Utah State, then transferred to Texas Tech, former 4A Player of the Year in the state of Florida. Second and 9. Somebody hands it off to Thompson, puts his hat down, keeps his legs moving, sets up a 3rd down and 3. Winters with another tackle. What do you like looking ahead for Texas Tech, play call wise here, Robert?
Yeah, well, if they can get this 1st down here on 3rd down, it'd be big for them, right? I mean, everybody can see that's watching the game. They need to get in a rhythm. But for Henry Colombi, it's here 3rd and 3. I would see them either running the ball or trying to run some type of spread offense to get the defense stretched out. And you see Ezekama right there in the slot. He is their go-to guy.
Colombi surveying, now on the move. Flushed out downfield, caught for the 1st down at about the 38-yard line by Kalen Geiger. A gain of 6 on the play. We go back to the studio. Right back here, Xavier White in the football game at tailback. Takes the handoff between the tackles, picks up about 4 on the play. Well, Sunday night we have an NBA preseason.
Man, it's a complete joy to listen to this man call a basketball game. You got to check that one out.
LeBron James, Anthony Davis, they stay healthy. They're going to be tough to beat. Colombi fires a strike to Tharp on the move, still on his feet inside the 20, brought down to the 16, but there's a flag down on the play as well. Let's see if this play stands.
To Sonny Cumbie's credit, man, wow. They still run the ball. He does a little pop pass right here. to Mason Tharp, and they get a big gain down the field. This game is far from over, guys.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 80, was covered up by another player on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. It's second down.
Sonny Cumbie not happy about that result. Good play call, poor execution. That 41-yard gain will come back.
That was the right play call at the right time, and just another mental error, right? We talked about all the guys that they have out right now, and here he's just covered up. He's covered up by one of the receivers here on that side of the line, and because of that, he can no longer be an eligible receiver. So all that yardage, all that positivity that was going from that play is now gone, and they're sitting here at 2nd and 11.
Back to the 37. Cumbie, incomplete. Intended for number 19, Loic Fungi, who was working against Caesar. And one thing so far, we haven't called Ezekama's name a whole lot. Partly because the offense hasn't been on the field a whole lot, Robert.
Exactly. You're right. He is their go-to guy. He's coming back from the concussion protocol, but he hasn't been featured at all. They have to try to find ways to get him the ball. It's going to be a thing that helps their offense be more successful.
Third and long. They get to the 48. Cumbie into traffic and caught for the first down. Trey Cleveland, the 6'4" sophomore out of Arlington, moves the chains, picks up 12.
Man, I just love the pocket movement there by Henry Cumbie. Stays in there. He's moving around. He's like a wizard in the pocket, right? Just making his offensive lineman right, giving this team a chance to win. And Trey Cleveland comes up with the big catch on 3rd and 11. Maybe these Red Raiders can get something going.
Xavier White sets in the backfield on 1st and 10. Cumbie on the RPO delivers another strike to Cleveland again. Picks up 13. Meanwhile, Shuck on the sidelines. The guy that Henry Cumbie replaced. But keep in mind, as you look at Shuck, Cumbie played a lot of football at Utah State, hands it off here to Xavier White. The problem was he was behind 1st-round pick Jordan Love, Robert.
Yeah, and Jordan Love's not a guy to be not to be that mad about being behind. He's a great player. Cumbie all his life has found himself behind players that have been the upper echelon, and Shuck is no different. And when you see Shuck on the sideline there and Cumbie here in the picture, it just reminds me this is such a hair game. Okay. Right? It's such a hair game. These guys they have great hair. Look at Shuck right there, just the golden locks, man, just pushed up. I mean, I wish I could just wake up out of bed and have hair like that.
The transfer from Oregon.
Look at that. Cumbie's got that infused hair at baby, when he's a baby, right out of the womb.
Got Donovan Smith in at quarterback. Smith hands it off to Thompson, and nowhere to go for Thompson. On 3rd and 3, they're going to be stopped up on 3rd down. Wow.
I didn't like the play call there. Not because of the zone read and bringing Donovan Smith in. I didn't like the play call because Donovan Smith didn't make the right read there.
Okay.
When you have a defensive lineman standing flat-footed at the line of scrimmage and you're a guy they bring into the game to run the ball and change the pace, you have to trust your speed there, get to the edge. But here at 4th and 3, they're going for it.
9.5 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. They're going for it.
You got Ezekama trying to tell the guys on the other side of the field to line up the correct way.
4th and 3. Cumbie in traffic. Caught. Wow, in a crowd. Tharp came up with it like Houdini. And what a rope by Cumbie.
It was almost like they had 2 guys in the same area, right? But Henry Cumbie, he's got ice in his veins. Kalen Geiger and Mason Tharp are right there. Mason Tharp said, you know what, I'm going to catch this bad boy because my team needs it on 4th and 3. Texas Tech is still fighting. You love to see this in these guys.
Cumbie going to step up and take off now. And And run out of bounds at about the 20-yard line by D. Winters, who's been ubiquitous all over the field so far tonight. Number 13 right there, the 6'1" junior from Brenham, Texas.
They really like D. Winters. They feel like he is an NFL-type guy, and they're looking for him to even play better, right? This TCU defense hasn't really looked like the TCU defenses from the past that we're used to. They're ranked 9th in scoring defense and almost last in the rushing game. He's a big part of them being successful.
2nd and 6. Columbia pulls it out, fires a little bit low, incomplete for Dalton Rigdon. It'll be 3rd down and 6 coming up. You got to feel that. Are they in 4-down territory now? After going for it previously, would they take a field goal?
I wouldn't, but I'm not the head coach. Right here, it's 28-7. You know you're down big. Your offense isn't really hitting too many big plays, but you are methodically moving the ball down the field. I would approach this down as if I have 2.
Still waiting to hear from Eric Ezekama in a big way. Thompson motions out of the backfield. Ball tipped incomplete. And it's 4th and 6 coming up for Texas Tech. Batted away by Nook Bradford. Intended for Trey Cleveland. And they're going to go for it here on 4th down. Columbia on the field. 15th play of the drive coming up for Coach Wells here.
I mean, what other choice do you have, right? You can kick the field goal, but you're down by 21. And I'm still waiting. Everybody in the stadium is still waiting for them to throw the ball to Eric Ezekama.
Looks like he's lined up to the bottom of your screen here. Thompson goes in motion. We get a time out of the field. A lot of time for Wells and his staff to think about it and for us to come back. Miami Dolphin, one of my former neighbors down in Miami. I got to name drop a little bit. You know.
I was going to say, you're going to mention Patrick Mahomes, right? Wes Welker, and don't you dare forget Cheryl Swoops.
Yes, champion. From 38 yards out. Garibay, who kicked the game winner in the dying seconds last week against West Virginia, knocks this one through the pipes to make it 28-10 with 8:12 to go in the first half. So they ultimately settle for the field goal, not going for it again on 4th down. You like the call or not, Robert?
Yeah, like I said, what else are you going to do? They took the points.
Okay.
Never a problem with that. But you're down by 21. Do you be more aggressive and say, I'm going to trust my guys and go for it in that situation? Matt Wells said, no, we got a long game and we can get these points back in different ways.
Well, we were talking about the big kick.
They came to Morgantown and got that dub. But right now, they need to focus on protecting their home turf here in Lubbock, Texas.
15 plays, 55 yards, 6:33 on the clock. They end up with a 38-yard field goal to make it an 18-point game, 8:12 to go. An interesting afternoon in the Big 12. The game between Texas and Oklahoma going down to the dying seconds. And we got a flag down on the field on the kick as it goes out the back of the end zone. Boy, so many storylines coming out of that OU-Texas game in particular. What happens now at quarterback for the Sooners? Spencer Rattler, the starter, benched in the first half. Hey, Oklahoma, remember, was down. Hey, you know what, folks? It wasn't a flag after all. We saw something fly onto the field. It was a tortilla.
Oh, maybe those Texas Tech fans are trying to start the game over or something. Who knows?
The traditions here at Jones Stadium. First down and 10. Evans, through a yawning hole, picks up 11 yards. Matt, right back here, first down and 10. Zach Evans out here careering already in the first quarter. Already over 100 yards on the ground. Didn't gain any yards on that one. We were talking about a potential flag a moment ago.
There it is. It's that tortilla.
It's not Taco Tuesday, Quinn.
You take a hole in the center and it improves the aerodynamics. I mean, you don't have to be an aerospace engineer at Baylor to figure that one out. But they're like UFOs, missiles, and frisbees. These people can launch them about 50 or 60 yards.
You got to be careful with some of those projectiles.
Hey, Quinn, it looks like somebody ate that tortilla.
2nd and 10. Evans again off the left side of that offensive line. And, you know, just to let you know that we get immersed in our environment and we come ready. We heard about the tradition in Quint's report. So my partner, Robert Griffin, got tortillas. The rookie, I hazed him a little bit. No, I didn't. He had to go out and get tortillas for us.
We're all about full immersion, and we're going to throw that bad boy. I'm going to throw it right now. Look at
my tortilla broke.
Oh, I don't think the fans are going to like that one.
My tortilla broke. Give me those bootleg tortillas, man.
He said bootleg.
3rd down and 8. A rare 3rd and long. Duggan got great legs and takes out his do-it-yourself kit. Still on the move, secures the ball and the 1st down inside the 30. A great dash for Duggan, picks up 32 and moves the sticks, Robert.
And that's what you call teaching them how to Dougie. Max Duggan is legit fast, guys. He is a runner, dynamic player who has become more consistent with his passing game. But if you let this man get out in the open, he will hurt you with his legs, as you saw just right there.
From the 30-yard line, 1st down and 10. Hasn't been much of a homecoming weekend so far for Texas Tech because of Evans and Duggan. You know, pressure-filled football really isn't for Duggan. It's just a privilege to play on a Saturday night because going back to last year, they discovered a heart issue that he had since birth in wake of a COVID positive test. As Evans picks up a couple of yards, he subsequently underwent a procedure for that heart issue, sat out several weeks. So coming back to play big-time college football in wake of that heart procedure is something that Duggan uses for perspective, and it's really helped him along the way.
It's a blessing for him to be out here. And honestly, if he had never gotten COVID, he would have never known that he had this heart condition, and it could have just saved his life.
3rd and short. What a great dimension to have a quarterback that can run the ball the way he does. Great move inside by Miller. He sheds one potential tackler to pick up the 1st down. A missed tackle on the play by Bleeding. And a 5-yard gain by Miller.
We got to show the big boys up front some love, man.
Yeah.
They came to play today. They're down a couple guys, starting right guard, starting left guard, and they are leaning on Texas Tech right now, trying to break their will. Seems like they're doing that just about right now.
1st and 10 from the 16. Duggan hands it off to Miller again. Not as much room. He's going to pick up a yard. Colin Schooler makes the stop. But they've been running the ball very successfully today. It started off with Evans, and then he got a lot of help from his friends Miller and DeMercado.
Yes, all of these backs have been gashing the Texas Tech defense one way or the other, to the right, to the left, up the middle, on the outside. They've got to find a way to set a tone up front and let them know they're not going to give them those holes anymore.
228 rushing yards already. Duggan on the bootleg. Fires high, incomplete. Intended for Williams. And once again, they're looking at a 3rd down conversion potentially here with 3:24 to go. I thought Duggan could have taken off and gotten it himself there, Robert.
I was just about to say he was actually past the line of scrimmage right there when he made that throw. So he probably should have ran, because that would have been it would have come back anyway, because he was already past the line.
Very efficient on 3rd down conversions, 9th best in the country. Evans motions out of the backfield, and a timeout called before the snap by TCU. On Blackout Saturday, it's TCU that's turning out Tech's light so far. Back after this. As we look at 3rd and 8. We go through that door. The Horned Frogs once again.
Texas Tech's been way too inviting to TCU with that open door policy, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if they can shut them down right here.
The 3, perfect on 3rd down. 6 for 6. set up a receiver screen. It's caught and on the move. Barber with his first catch. He's going to end up a little bit short of that first down marker, it looks like. Inches to go. TCU down a couple of their top receivers today. Quentin Johnston and J.D. Spielman. They go to Barber that time. His first catch, 4th and 1. And
hey, if I'm Gary Patterson, I'm going for it right here.
Got a hot hand, right?
I'm up 28-10. My defense is playing well. If we don't get it, they got to drive the full length of the field to make it happen. Go ahead and try to put the hammer down on them right here. 4th and 1.
They run it. Evans got the first down. Keeps those legs moving and makes his way down inside the 3-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal.
There was only 2 guys I wanted the ball in the hands of right there. It was either Zach Evans or Max Duggan. They got the best one right there. This Zach Evans running back, wow. You said he was considered by Georgia. He was considering Georgia. He looks like an SEC running back, doesn't he?
Big time. First 5-star recruit to come this way, Quint.
Yeah, Gary Patterson down with his offensive staff, motioning to Duggan, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. They want to milk the clock here before halftime.
His analytics guy must be in his ear.
1st and goal. Evans got into the end zone. Touchdown, TCU. As they continue to just gobble up real estate against Texas Tech, pardon me. Zach Evans at 190 yards against Cal, and he's on pace to surpass that already here. He's already up to 143, Robert.
Yes, right here you just see him just push and push and push. Look at him. He might have been down before he got to the goal line there, but you just see him pushing and how physical and strong he is in that offensive line. Man, I cannot say enough good things about this TCU offensive line and what they have come in here and done in the first half. Putting their team in position 35-10 before halftime. You right there, you see Zach Evans, Gary Patterson. Hey, slow it down.
On the field of a touchdown. Under review.
Yeah, like I said, after you watch that replay, it looked like he might have been down before he got in. But Zach Evans is saying, Coach Patterson, what do you want me to do? I'm a beast. They can't stop me.
Let's take one more look at it here, partner, as Evans keeps those legs churning and
down. Yeah.
Down right there. But look at the ball. The ball looks like it's crossed a little bit.
Yeah. I look
line.
at it right here.
Yeah,
that's the ball. He's not passed yet.
You don't think that's in?
No, that's not in. This is the line, right? So you see him, knees down, ball's here, goal line's there. So I think this is coming back, and then they're going to put him at the 1-inch line.
And this was all set up, remember, by that 4th down gamble.
Yeah, you see the ball, knees down, ball's there, goal line's here.
There's the knee, and you saw the ball.
Yeah, so you can see right here the gap.
After reviewing the play, when the runner's knee was down, the ball is short of the goal line. Ball be placed at the half-yard line. It's 2nd down.
I know one guy that's happy, Gary Patterson.
Yeah.
Gets to run some more time off the clock.
I'm guessing that Zach Evans is going to have a say in this next play again.
Yeah, I don't know why you would give it to anybody else, Jones.
Patterson couldn't have scripted a better beginning here in the first half. After 4 consecutive home games, they go on the road for the first time this year. And a team that brought up a little bit of consternation for Patterson because they're young is responding in a big way right now. Up 28-10 and on the verge of punching it in again.
This is a crossroads game for TCU. They come off of 2 back-to-back losses, SMU and Texas. How are they going to respond coming here for homecoming to Lubbock, Texas? The Red Raiders, they got the blackout, right? The fans are here. Everybody's feeling good, and they have responded.
There they go. 2nd and goal. Didn't look like he got in. Kept it himself and comes up short. 1:39 to go.
3rd final timeout called by Texas Tech.
Texas Tech going to burn another timeout. Their last and final one of the first half with 1:39 to go. We're going to take a break with them. In the red zone still, TCU on the 1-yard line. 3rd and goal. Zach Evans in at tailback.
I don't know why you wouldn't give it to anybody else but Zach Evans here. Let's see what they do.
Duggan hands it off to him. Stopped up. Second effort. Touchdown. They gave it to him, and he took a knock and kept going after that initial hit by Pierre. Josiah Pierre hit him, and Evans, resilient, bounced off and kept going.
You see here, and you see the second effort by Zach Evans. Maybe there's some people that think he wasn't in, but when you see him do that right there, that is what you can't coach, right? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my, defenders right there, and he's in. It looks like he's in to me. That elbow, maybe we got to go back and look at that and see if his elbow came down.
Didn't look like it had touched.
But what an amazing second effort right there by Zach Evans. He is really putting on a show today.
Looked like we had a flag on the field as well. A celebration penalty going to be called against TCU.
Result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. TCU number 6 and number 12, both of their first of the game. 15-yard penalty being forced on the kickoff.
Unsportsmanlike against Evans.
You can see his elbow goes down right there, but the ball is past the plane. That's a touchdown. He's in. Great second effort by Zach Evans. I know it's not what the Texas Tech faithful wanted, but right now they got to find a way to dig themselves out of a massive hole in the second half.
Touchdown counts. Extra point good. 35-10 TCU. And okay. It's not the gritty. Is that the Smeeze, that new Smeeze dance that's out kids like?
I don't know what it is, but I know right now that Gary Patterson, when they get it back on that sideline, he's going to be getting on them, man.
Hey, I'm all right with it. I think the rule's the problem, not the celebration.
Got to have fun, right?
On the road against Las Vegas, one of the more compelling and riveting performances of all time, and she continues to be amazing. She had 14 points in the fourth quarter alone.
Hey, Diana Taurasi's not alone there in Phoenix, though. She's got Brittany Griner, Skylar Diggins, but I'm going to tell you right now, the biggest matchup has to be Brianna Turner versus Candace Parker. Turner's awesome on defense, right? She's been giving people fits all day in the playoffs, but she can also get it done on offense. That's going to be something that people need to tune into. Check out the WNBA, people.
I saw what you did there with the Brittany Griner Baylor connection mention. Oh, you think you're smooth like that,
man? She's unstoppable. She's unstoppable.
This goes into the end zone. Let's go back to the studio. When Kesenick telling us a moment ago that Evans left the field in that last break. 1:35 to go here in the first half. Texas Tech with a little bit of time, but no timeouts. And that pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. So here's what happened a moment ago. Evans going into the locker room.
Could be because Gary Patterson's mad about that celebration. Could be him just going in early because halftime is coming up. But I think it's probably the first one. You know, it just seems like Gary Patterson's not a guy that puts up with that type of stuff.
That is their leading rusher, right?
Oh, he's a player.
Okay. Thompson. Yeah, I live with a little celebration. Because if you're not celebrating, you're not getting in the end zone,
exactly.
Right?
And I've heard a lot of coaches say you treat everybody the same. But, you know, if you're producing on the field, you get a little bit of lenience when it comes to that type of stuff. But Gary Patterson's trying to get his team on schedule for the rest of the year, so maybe. But we're up here just speculating. We have no idea why he wouldn't have.
They're down in one. Weekend so far very silent for Azakama as well. You saw him set right there to the right of Colombi, and now Colombi looked like he was going to take off, tried to hit Azakama, and incomplete. And they are really out of sorts. A disconsolate look etched across the countenance of both Coach Wells and his starting quarterback, Henry Colombi.
Just not seeing any energy right now. not from the crowd, not from the players on the field. Things seem to not be going right. Quarterbacks getting balls tipped. Receivers are dropping the ball, getting interceptions, pick sixes. It's not going right now for Texas Tech, but they're going to need a resurgence like they did against Houston in the first game of the year in the second half to have an opportunity to make homecoming right.
Got to keep an eye on Darius Davis here. Lets it bounce as we go down to Quint.
Defense all year long, not so fast.
What about that, Quint? Yeah, we've been seeing some scores in the 20s and thinking, oh, it's come back to the median a little bit, regressed to the median, but not so much when you look at the final score of that OU Texas game. And right here already, we've got a 35-10 score with 27 seconds to go.
It's almost like when we talked with Gary Patterson about Paisley ties, right? And he said they keep coming back into style, and right now it looks like the Big 12 is going through the ebbs and flows of whether it's going to be a defensive league or an offensive league or a 50-point league or a 20-point league. Right now, all these offenses are humming. Got to see if Texas Tech can get their offense humming in the second half.
Well, that's going to be it for the first half of play. The Horned Frogs are going to go into the locker room with a 35-10 lead. Texas Tech with a lot to figure out. On the other side, we're going to take a short break. Prime time presented by Subway. It's 35-10 as we get ready to start at Jones Stadium. As we get set for the kickoff here to get the third quarter started, as we check out the first half stats brought to you by PlayStation. Some of the cogent numbers, Robert.
Look at this, man. Zach Evans, 17 rushes for 143 yards. Woo! And he ties a career high with 2 touchdowns. My, oh my. They came out and they said, we're going to be the more physical team. We don't have all of our receivers. We're going to put it in your hands, young man. Take us at
Geiger back for this kickoff. We'll start off 1st and 10 from their own 25. Now we'll take you from plan to play, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. This was the plan, Robert.
Yes, TCU came in knowing that they didn't have the receivers, so they were going to run the ball, not just with Zach Evans, not just with Max Duggan, not just with DeMercado, not just with Kendrick Miller. I mean, oh my, these guys have turned into Medusa out here, and they're ripping and running all over the field. Texas Tech hasn't been able to stop them. Right now they're on offense, and they got to find a way to put points on the board.
Columbia out of the shotgun on 1st and 10. Gets it out quick, complete to Geiger. Geiger picks up the first down. Kalen Geiger, big story for them, brought down by Wyatt Harris. He's a transfer from Troy University. Played there for several years, unrecruited out of high school by a lot of the D1 schools he was looking to get to. Young man who bet on himself. First down and 10. About the 35. They're going to run it with Thompson. Nice gain on 1st down. Picks up 5. And if you're Texas Tech, Robert Griffin, what do you do to get back in this football game? Thompson, Geiger, as a comma, potent weapons, but silent so far.
Yeah, they got to spread it out. They got to throw the football. I mean, that's an obvious thing here in this moment, but they've got to find consistency somehow, whether that is with the run game or with the pass game being an extension of the run game.
There's Thompson, broke a couple of tackles. Nice straight arm and tripped up at about the 35-yard line. Good acceleration and strength. Van Zandt with a touchdown saving tackle.
You ask me what do they need to do? Right there, big plays. Whether it's in the passing game or the running game, Sharadrick Thompson here, boom, breaks a tackle. They have to make more of these special type plays because they're going to have to score and in a hurry to get back into this football game.
Run it here, Dan Thompson looking for a crease. He's going to pick up about 4 with his forward progress. So Roderick Thompson, 6-foot junior out of Irving, Texas. Just now rounding into top shape and form after missing the first couple of games in wake of that shoulder injury.
And they love having him back, don't they? He's a guy that really is a punishing runner, and he sets the tone for them, and they just haven't been able to get anything going to the level of what TCU's been doing today.
White comes in for him on 2nd and 5. Taking a shot downfield. And on the overthrow, he's trying to find Kuntz. And it'll be 3rd down and 5. We've got an offensive lineman shaken up on the play. TJ Stortman.
Man, you hate to see
Tended to
that.
by the athletic training staff for the Red Raiders. Back after this.
Texas Tech left tackle TJ Stortman being helped off the field with an apparent left leg injury. You talk about the embodiment of the transfer portal. This young man started at Old Dominion back in 2016, graduated from Colorado State in 2019, got his degree, played for TCU last year. He got a master's. Now he's at Texas Tech going to grad school.
Wow, making the most out of his student athletic experience. Picking up some degrees, getting a lot of letters before and after his name.
He got the full college experience and some. And, you know, I hope he is okay because he's really a staple for them at the left tackle position. He's a guy that they really lean on. And when you look at him right here, you just pray that he's okay and can come back from whatever is ailing him.
4th down, they're going to go for it. Columbia on the field. They go empty. Thompson motions out. 5 receivers in on 4th and 3rd. And he's going to be sacked by Coleman. Ari Coleman back after being shaken up last week. And TCU will take over on downs.
One of the interesting stats for TCU and Texas Tech was that coming into this game, Texas Tech actually had more interceptions, or the same amount of interceptions now, but before they had more interceptions than TCU had sacks. So here you see Kyrie Coleman coming in, number 11. He's been out for a couple games, and they've been asking for these D linemen to get more pressure on the quarterback. And now in a big blowout game, 35-10 in the 3rd quarter, doesn't mean Tech's out of it, but now that pass rush is starting to come because Texas Tech has to throw the ball now.
Miller in a tailback on 1st and 10. Little bubble screen out to the edge, complete to Tay Barber. Making his 2nd reception of the game, working against Adrian Fry. Short gain, it'll be 2nd down. Miller in the backfield. Duggan gonna run it. And he makes it out to right around the 39-40 yard line. Pierre making the stop. So a quick 3rd and about 5 to go, a long 5.
TCU has to be careful that they don't get too conservative. Look, I don't blame them. It's 35-10. You want to run the ball. You've been running the ball effectively. They're going to do high percentage passes and run it, but you want to make sure you don't even give Texas Tech any life in these moments. 3rd and 7 here, big moment for them. Anticipate they're probably going to try to get the ball to Tay Barber or Darius Davis.
Duggan gets it out, complete, and a 1st down catch and run. Conwright making a homecoming here to the Lubbock area, where his mother played collegiate basketball right here at Texas Tech. He gets 26.
So what do they do instead of throwing it to Darius Davis or Tay Barber? They use him as a decoy, and they get the ball to Blair Conwright, a Lubbock kid, right? And he had stepped up with Quentin Johnston being out.
Duggan, the bounce pass incomplete.
Oh, you mean this ain't basketball?
No, bounce passes don't count. No layups here.
No layups.
2nd and 10. Let's go to Quinn. Q.
TCU's taking a bite out of the tortilla and talking to Matt Wells. Really, he said this game comes down to their front, their defensive line. They're getting their butt whooped is what he told me. I said, is it about personnel? He said, no, we're playing our best guys. They just got to get off the blocks, get some penetration, and start making some plays. They've been completely dominating in this game.
Duggan pulls it out and takes off, cuts it north-south, and sets up about a 3rd down and 2 or 3 to go. Put a nice move on Taylor Demerson. Picks up 8 on the play, 3rd down. Duggan has shown that he can run, that he can pass, that he can have great control of this offense, showing great dominion and running the show here.
Yeah, Max Duggan is saying, hey, I can do whatever they need me to do to win. He's out there trying to get jiggy with it out there with the ball.
3rd and 3. He hands it off and nowhere to go. The Mercado. Stopped up by Hutchins. And it's 4th down about 3.
This is what I was saying earlier in the game with Texas Tech's defensive line. They have to play in the backfield to stop the running backs before they get started. And as you saw right there, DeMercado got swallowed up before he could even really get any forward momentum going. Nice job by Jalen Hutchins leading that charge and getting those guys to understand what they have to do to stop the run.
Kell comes in to try and attempt this field goal. Kell 5 of 7 on the season, as long as 40. And TCU going to call a timeout. Gary Patterson's team looking for their 3rd win of the season against 2 consecutive defeats tomorrow on NFL Countdown. But this time they see more production than potential so far this season.
Yes, and I think it's also Kellen Moore has kind of changed his stripes a little bit, right? He threw the ball a bunch at Boise, and what is he doing now? He's leaning on the running game. They're paying Zeke all that money. Let him run the rock.
Kellen for this field goal attempt. Up and good from 48 yards out. The lead up to 38-10 on homecoming weekend.
And they got a superstar running back in Zach Evans, who left the first half after the touchdown with less than 2 minutes to go. He was sent to the locker room. He has not played yet in the second half. I just caught eyes with him. I said, "Are you okay?" And he gave me a thumbs up. So we're not sure why he hasn't played yet in the second half. He doesn't show any signs of injury. He's been the most positive teammate that I can remember in a long time. I mean, he's been up and down the sideline talking to his teammates. He's been super encouraging. So I'm not sure. He's got a helmet, and he's received no treatment from a training staff or any physicians down here. So what we don't know, we don't know. But it looks like his day might be done.
Big time productive day so far for Zach Evans.
Hey, you know, Gary Patterson doesn't want him to get those B. John Robinson type carries. We heard him in his press conference this week, so maybe he's just trying to keep him fresh with the score the way it is right now.
Huge difference in total yards. Columbia got it out just in time to Xavier White. White picks up the 1st down beyond the 40, where he's pushed out of bounds finally by Hodge.
Henry Colombi's been under pressure all day long. Look at this. We've seen him time and time again making throws with people in his face, and here he gets thrown to the ground. But I can tell you it feels way better when you get that completion and that big gain down the field. But that is not the problem. The problem is they need to protect him better. Keep him off the ground. He can go out and be efficient.
17-yard pickup by White. Columbia gonna heave it. Got a man. Geiger. Caught. And they're going to mark it about the 3-yard line. Kalen Geiger finally getting in behind the secondary. C.J. Caesar beaten on the play for 55 yards.
Kalen Geiger's really been coming on. He does a really good job of slowing down the throttle so he doesn't overrun the catch there.
Going to run it here. Xavier White waiting for the signal. And they're going to mark it short of the end zone. Just inside the 1. 2nd and goal coming up.
Just to go back to that last, the play before, the pass from Henry Colombi, he's not known for having a super strong arm, but what he does is he gets the ball up early so that his receivers can run under it.
Okay.
And that's exactly what he did right there with Kalen Geiger. I'd love to show you guys that, but they're running so fast on these plays, we got to see if they can get in the end zone.
So Roderick Thompson in the ball game at tailback. Comes in for White, takes the handoff, and scores easily, waltzing into the end zone. As Texas Tech showing signs of life here in the 3rd quarter on homecoming weekend. Get the crowd on their collective feet for one of the few times this evening.
The crowd will be on their feet more if they can get a stop on this next drive, and Texas Tech can come back and get more points, because then it starts to put the pressure on the other team who has the big lead. That's what I said. The TCU has to be careful not to become too conservative and let Texas Tech back into this game.
Second touchdown tonight for Thompson. 7.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's 38-17.
So we see here Henry Colombi with a bomb shot over the top to Kalen Geiger. I can't wait to show you guys what it looked like why it happened when we get back. On the board.
A touchdown.
Big play.
Something to say. 7.5 to go. TCU is going to have it first down and 10. What was the important part of this touchdown?
I told you we were going to talk about it, and you see here in the backfield, Henry Colombi is going to do a play action. He's got one-on-one with Kalen Geiger in the corner on an inside fade route. But right here, you see the safety kept his feet solid from the play action, so he can't get over there to help. And then Kalen Geiger does a nice job controlling the throttle on the deep ball to make sure it gets right in the breadbasket. What a play. They need more like that in a hurry to get back in this game.
Miller is the tailback. As our Clint Kesnick reported a moment ago, Evans has not been in yet here in the third quarter, even though he indicated to Clint that he was okay. This is Miller. A nice sprint into the open. Miller with an education and acceleration. He's gone. Touchdown. 75 yards across the West Texas Plains. That'll drop your jaw.
I guess you can say it's Miller time, baby. Wow, Kendre Miller. Like I said, you cannot give enough credit to his offensive line. Look at that hole. Boom. Nice cut. Gets vertical, and he does what he did in the first half. He goes rumbling, stumbling, bumbling down the sideline. Woo. TCU got some backs now, man. And the first guy there, Zach Evans. Number 6, they say he's not just a great player, but he's an even better person. He is loving what he's seeing from his guys. They are toting the tater today, I can tell you that.
How do you answer a touchdown? Just like that. His second of the day. Look at the rushing attack for TCU. 143, 131 for Evans and Miller, and Duggan not bad either.
Man.
4 touchdowns.
I watched tape all week on these guys. They are something else. Sometimes the tape doesn't tell you the whole story.
Hey, explain to me why they're 2-2 again, Robert, coming in.
Yeah, I mean, they played 2 teams, right? SMU's ranked. Texas was ranked. You saw how they played today. Didn't finish the deal, but they've had 2 tough games against 2 good teams. So when you come in here and they're 2-2, Tech is 4-1, they were still the favorite.
Right.
And now you're seeing why they were the favorite. No one expected them to come in here and go out there and drop over 300 yards or almost 300 yards of rushing on Texas Tech's defense. Wow. I mean, I am appalled. This is an incredible display from their offensive linemen. Got to give those guys love and credit, especially with their left guard and right guard out of the game.
Hasn't impacted their rushing game. 7:18 to go, and smiles on one sideline for TCU and contrasting look across the way for Texas Tech. So they'll take it first and 10 from the 25-yard line. With 7:18 to go. Well, our Week 5 Monday Night Football matchup has the electrifying Lamar Jackson.
The Ravens are trying to go for 44 straight games with 100 yards rushing. I don't think anybody's going to stop them.
There's Xavier White. Flag down, White down after a gain of about 6. Yeah, Lamar Jackson on his own. He missed a little time in practice, right? Didn't practice the whole week.
Holding. Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, it seems like Lamar likes skipping practice every Wednesday.
Guys,
I got to tell you, though, the Ravens, the injuries, there was a headline in the Baltimore Sun. I live in Maryland. I live in Baltimore. It said, Ravens mourn injuries and then get back to work. It really has been incredible what they've been able to do.
Guys,
talk to me about that.
I'm telling you, I've been there. I was there for 3 years. Lamar missed more practice than anybody ever seen. And guess what? He'll show up on game day, throw for 300 and run for 100. The man's a baller. He's a gamer. Don't worry about the practice play.
First and 20. I'm with you. I'm with you. From the 15. Columbia out of the backfield gets it out to Thompson. And Thompson with a nice run. Still on his feet. Thompson inside the 10. Finally dragged down by Caesar, who saves a touchdown. An electrifying display by SaRodorick Thompson.
SaRodorick Thompson got tired of all this talk about the TCU running backs, and he said, guess what? I'm one of them guys too. Look at that. Puts his foot in the ground. Oh, wow.
Takes it here again on consecutive runs and is upended at about the 3. Didn't look like he had much left in the tank after that long run, and as you would expect, he comes out of the ball game now, Robert.
When they gave him the ball, he said, what are you doing, coach? What are you doing? I just ran for a long ways and got ran down by C.J. Caesar. Give me the oxygen. Give me the oxygen right now.
Donovan Smith coming in at quarterback now, as they are prone to do in the red zone. There he is.
Always be ready for the quarterback run with Donovan Smith.
He hands it off to White, and another response by the Red Raiders. Touchdown. Their second score of this third quarter. Xavier White, the converted receiver, now tailback, his second rushing touchdown this season and the 4th of his career.
We have seen more points from Texas Tech in this quarter than we saw the whole game. They come out at halftime alive is what it seems. They brought life to this crowd for the people who are still here. And we'll see if they can make it again. They can stop on defense.
Extra point is good, and it's 45 to 24. 5:58 to go in the third quarter. The mascots squaring off.
Nothing like a frog and a Red Raider.
Hey.
A guy with red hair and a gun. You want to stay away from him, okay? Don't get too close.
Well, a great response by Thompson and Columbi, White. Geiger getting his way, finding his way, his rhythm here in the third quarter as well. This is the Texas Tech that we saw with that big comeback in the game we did earlier this year, their opener against Houston, Robert.
Certainly is. This team is showing that they're not going to give up. They're continuing to fight, and I think that's good on them. College is such a crazy game. They could still come back and win this game. The way that it's played, how fast you can score, they're not out of this yet.
And we saw a 21-point comeback earlier today in Big 12 play with Oklahoma trailing Texas.
Texas A&M coming up.
All right, 5:58 to go. But the question that begs now, Robert, is how does this Red Raider defense slow down this prolific Horned Frogs offensive attack? Mercado in the ball game, and he bursts out through to the 42-yard line. Mercado got a nice block up front from Steve Avila, number 79. And a 17-yard pickup.
You ask, how does Texas Tech get a stop? They have to take chances. They got to play man coverage, load the box, say that you're not going to run the ball. If you're going to beat us now, you're going to beat us throwing the football. It's the only way they can get back in this thing.
5.5 to go in the third. Duggan hands it off again. This time, not as much room for DeMercado. Inglewood. There's a look at Zach Evans. Breather on the bench. That's not him, pardon me, double number. That was Rico Jeffers. 5 minutes to go. Under the lights here, the Jones. They'd hoped to have a celebratory scene and mood right now, but they trail on homecoming weekend. 2nd and 8. Nowhere to go for DeMercado. Tony Bradford Jr. with a nice stop.
And then that Oklahoma-Texas game was something special now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at all the numbers offensively today on the board there. 3rd and 11. Duggan finds his receiver. That's the backup tight end, Dominic Denuzio. Denuzio is going to be short of the first down. And they'll have to punt. So the Red Raiders get their stop. One of the few times today they've been able to slow down TCU. Sets up 4th and 5.
Now they got to stop, and their offense has to go score touchdowns. Right? It's the first punt for TCU in the entire game. And earlier I was saying TCU can't get too conservative, but the bottom line is they've been doing what they've been doing. Running the ball when they get in 3rd and longs, they throw it. And Tech just did a better job there of getting the stop.
Jordy Sandy, the punter. Been lonely over there on the sidelines. This one lands inside the 10 and caroms into the end zone. It'll come back out.
First hit it, I know you want to. Are you in good hands? Come on. Everybody loves that line.
I'm trying to save the pipes, man. We might have some excitement down the stretch here.
There you go.
Thanks for subbing in and delivering there. Xavier White back in the backfield. As you hear the nice rhythms in the background, keep in mind on homecoming weekend, the marketing department, shout out to the marketing department here at Texas Tech. They had Coolio in for a pregame concert. So far, it hasn't been a fantastic voyage for the home team.
False start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Certainly, like I said right there.
I like what you did there, man.
You saw that?
That was good, man. Coolio appreciated that, too.
Hey, Coach Wells said he's part of that generation, too. Got that as part of his playlist, Q.
Power in the money, money in the power. Minute after minute, hour after hour.
Hey, man, Quint's invited to the barbecue, okay?
Q dropping bars on the sideline.
He got some culture.
1st and 15. Columbia taking a shot deep, underthrown deep ball, and a flag results. Intended for Dalton Rigdon, covered by TJ Carter.
Pass interference. Defense number 7. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Dalton Rigdon right here. He does exactly what you want a receiver to do when the ball's underthrown. Fight, fight, fight back towards the ball. That's how you get the penalty. I know you'll sit there and you'll say, what did TJ Carter do wrong? Doesn't matter.
What did he do wrong?
Dalton Rigdon's trying to get the ball, and TJ Carter would not allow him to get back and make a play on it. It's pass interference, man. I'm an offensive guy. What can I say?
I'd expect that from you, Robert Griffin III. 3 minutes to go in the 3rd. He's going to hand it off this time. White bouncing the outside. Oh, he hit the defender, number 20, Van Zandt, with some stupid sauce and caused him to grasp at air.
That was spicy, wasn't it? Like a little barbecue sauce right there.
White got a nice clip, put some money on tape there. 9-yard carry. 2nd and 1. From the 39. Gonna run it again. White again. Big carry again. And a first down again. All the way to the 45 of TCU. Xavier White out of Lubbock, Texas.
You love to see it. Big number 77, Ethan Card, 6'8", 315, pushing the pile, making sure Xavier White got more yards.
That's 16 in all. Columbia steps up into the pocket, taking a shot deep. Incomplete behind his intended receiver, Trey Cleveland, who was working against Tomlinson. 2nd down and 10. Cleveland's caught a couple of passes already today. Big target.
As you see here, right? Xavier Carter's, he's wrapped up 77. Ethan Card says, come on, buddy, I gotcha. We're going to keep rumbling and bubbling here in Lubbock.
Looking for a free ride. Under 2 minutes to go, 2nd and 10. Thompson back in the ball game at tailback. Throws it out. Columbia delivers a strike, complete for the first down. Caught by Loic Fungi, who's really developing into a legit number 2 receiver behind Ezekama.
As you can see, Henry Columbia seems to have a great connection with Geiger, Trey Cleveland, Loic Fungi, and maybe that's why we're not seeing as many passes being thrown to Eric Ezekama. But I can tell you what, after this game, they need to sit him down and say, hey, man, that guy right there is going to be playing on Sundays. Throw him the football. Doesn't take anything away from Loic Fungi and these other guys. They're all playing well right now.
Donovan Smith now in at quarterback, working out of the shotgun, number 7 for the Red Raiders. Hands it off to Thompson. Nowhere to go. Is he reading the right guy there, Robert? as he hands it off for a little.
In this situation, he did.
Okay.
At first, I saw it, and I'm like, why didn't he pull that one? The defensive end is sitting there waiting for him on the edge.
Okay.
They know that when he comes in the game, he's a heavy run threat. They don't want to see him out in the open field. They saw what Max Duggan's been doing to Texas Tech's defense. They don't want Donovan Smith to be doing the same thing.
There you go. Under a minute in the third quarter, 2nd and 10. Colombi, he's not going to get it off in time. Couldn't pull, and is brought down at about the 30 by Coleman and Barquette. And it looked like Colombi loses his hat. He'll have to come out of the ball game. Unless it was pulled off.
Yeah, so I think he's complaining to the ref that the defender actually pulled his helmet off to make sure he had to get out of the game for a play, and that's exactly what happens. He headbutts him, hits him in the head, and knocks his helmet off. I mean, that should be an unsportsmanlike. Just call it what it is. Doesn't matter what the score of the game is. Defensive lineman can't be doing that to the quarterback.
Donovan Smith in the ball game. A little sensitive there, Robert?
Hey, man. Hey, man. You got to protect the quarterback.
My man's a little sensitive, folks.
I know every Texas Tech Raiders out there saying, that's our quarterback. Protect him.
End of the third quarter. 45-24, folks. We are back at the Jones. This is ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Subway. Watching the Big 12 Conference on ESPN, start of the fourth quarter, as Akama with the ball and making things happen. One of the few times that he's shown that imperious nature of him is today.
That's why you get him the ball. Eric Ezekama is a playmaker. I'm telling you, this guy's going to be playing on Sundays. He's a great run after the catch guy, contested catch. They got to get him the ball. They realize that, so they just give it to him on a jet sweep. Get him involved, get his juices flowing.
Picked up 16 in the red zone to the 13-yard line. 1st and 10. Colombi is going to lose a couple of yards on that play. Not sure exactly what that was or what that design was, but predetermined quarterback run, or
it wasn't a predetermined quarterback run. It's just Henry Colombi is not immobile. He is mobile enough, but he's not the guy you want running that zone read type of offense. It's Shuck, it's Donovan Smith, but they're using him because he is capable. But right there, the defensive end just was more athletic than he was.
2nd and 11. If you look at Shuck, who was injured in the Texas game. Hoping he'll be back in several weeks, but it'll be later rather than sooner. This is Thompson, and Thompson is going to gain maybe a yard on the play. Wyatt Harris making the tackle for TCU. TCU looking for their 3rd win of the season. Harris getting up slowly. 3rd and 11 coming up for the Red Raiders.
Whatever they do here on 3rd and 11, it's got to get them at least half the yards back because they're playing with 2 downs. It's the 4th quarter. You're down 45-24. You're not kicking field goals anymore. You have to go score touchdowns.
Thompson with a healthy average of 6.6 per carry. Numbers can lie to you sometimes, though. The downward counts. Colombi throws an incomplete. Wasn't even close to Thompson, so it sets up a 4th down. Down by 21 points with 13:01 to go.
They tried to play to Colombi's strengths there. They ran a stick concept with a slant on the backside. He worked up to the top. It didn't work out for him, so he tried to get out the pocket, but he ran to the side where he only had 1 receiver. If you're going to try to break the pocket, try to get to the field where you have those 3 guys and they can make something work for you. Here on 4th and 11, you just got to give your guys an opportunity. Whatever happens, give them an opportunity to catch the football.
Colombi taking a shot into the end zone, overthrows it in double coverage, and TCU will take over on downs as Akama, the intended receiver, and a lugubrious look on the face of head coach Matt Wells as it'll come back the other way. 1st and 10 for the Horned Frogs. Wow, it's been a weekend of thrills and surprises so far in college football. First down and 10 for the Horned Frogs. Miller with a gain of about 6 on the Cincinnati at number 5. And thinking very much that they deserve to be, the way they're going now and trending, part of that college football playoff. We'll find out. Here's Miller. Miller into the boundary, about 3.5, 4 yards shy of that first down. You went to Dallas to do the mock committee scenario. What was that like this week?
It was a great experience. I can't lie. You know, you kind of got a background look into what they go through in the decision-making process. But from what we just saw in those standings, there is no excuse for Cincinnati to not be number 4 when those rankings come out. They should play spoiler. They deserve it right now. They're earning it every single week. And they just keep winning, keep winning. We'll see what happens at the end of the year.
We'll find out if they become the first group of 5 team to crash the party. This is Miller again, bounces off one tackler and picks up the first down with a couple of yards to spare. And this process by Cincinnati, they really emerged and pierced the college football consciousness last year.
Yes,
they were that good last year, setting them up for a potential appearance in the college football playoff this year.
Listen, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. The problem is the Power Fives don't want to let any of these non-Power 5 teams piggyback their way to a national championship off of them. But we've got to see if these non-Power 5 teams can compete in the playoff with these guys. And I think that's why the discussion around expansion is so vast right now.
They're going to run it again. Miller. It'll be the first time that a power group of 5 team make it to the college football playoff. Second down comes up. And, that win against Notre Dame, win also at Indiana for Cincinnati, making a pretty strong case for them so far.
We have all these discussions about Power 5, Group of 5. Just put the best teams in there. And if Cincinnati continues to win, they seem like they're one of the best in the country.
Second and 9, a little blitz coming. And Schooler, the first one to get there. He is the active leader in tackles in college football. Right there, the Arizona transfer last year, further acclimating this year. And he's been extremely productive for them. Their leading tackler, 45 on the season coming into this game. The reigning Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. He's got 6 tackles today.
Not only does he have an amazing haircut, right? Look at that flowing locks. I'm telling you, it's a hair game today, but look at that mustache, man. Colin Schooler, as good as he looks with the mustache and the hair, he's an even better player. He's flying around, and right there, they got an extra hat into the box by bringing the corner off the edge as well.
His brother plays at Texas. They tried to recruit him to Texas Tech, too. Mercado on the run. Picks up a few. Looks like we're headed towards 4th down with under 9.5 minutes to go. TCU looking for a little bit of life. A daunting task ahead. They trail by 3 touchdowns.
You can start to sense the wear and tear on both teams. Texas Tech defense knows they need to get a stop. TCU is literally trying to run out the clock every chance they get, running the ball. And you can see these guys starting to peel themselves off the ground. Tech's going to have to score fast here in about 1 or 2 minutes to give themselves an opportunity to win this game.
Blaine Mannix back at his own 27. Ready to get this punt from Jordy Sandy, who's been a lonely guy for most of the night. He hasn't punted that many times. This is just his 3rd punt. It goes out of bounds. That'll be 1st and 10 for Texas Tech. Beautiful campuses he had seen.
Has to be the desire for symmetry, proportion, and harmony, right? Columns, pediments, arches, and domes.
Spanish architecture.
Wow.
Renaissance. It was a real glorious period. 8:46 to go. Pass complete to Geiger. He's brought down immediately. And we have C.J. Caesar, who's grabbing his calf. I don't want to speculate about injuries.
Looks like a cramp, but
yeah, the way Robert, you and I played collegiate basketball. When you see somebody mess with his calf and try and get straightening out involuntarily, as we voluntarily go back to the studio.
Died at the age of 22. Way too early. And I know some of these Texas Tech fans will love, you know, the mentions of Josh Abbott, country singers, and all of the flamboyant musicry that comes out of Lubbock.
You grew up in Texas, so this, you know.
I did, but I did not grow up in Lubbock, Texas.
That wasn't your flavor?
I was far away from Lubbock.
But you got a lot of flavor in your playlist bag. I've seen it. Out of the backfield, complete. Ezekama. And Ezekama fighting his way just short of the first down.
When you talk about flavor, right? Talk about flavor in the music bag. It's all about diversifying your bonds.
Hey,
isn't that what Wu-Tang Financial said?
Yeah, something like that. 3rd and 1, and we have another
Injury timeout.
TCU player shaken up. That's Dylan Horton, who came into the game leading the team in sacks. Sets up a 3rd and 1 with 8:03 to go.
It has been a very physical game, so you're starting to see these injuries toll up.
Along with 100 Black Men of West Texas Award, an annual scholarship from 100 Black Men of West Texas and Texas Tech University football student athletes. Texas Tech sophomore Parnell Upshot is junior to help build our leaders and innovators of tomorrow, as Columbia slides in about a yard shy of the first down, and he is writhing, it looks like, a little bit. He's pounding on the turf and up a little slow. They all look a little bit frustrated right now, Robert.
I was going to say, it seems like he was complaining to the ref there that he felt like he got hit a little late there on the slide. But when you talk about, yeah, here it is right here. You see him, he's running, he slides, and he thinks that they're kind of hitting him late, but really he's just sliding late. I mean, as a quarterback, you got to know when to get down. Trust me on that.
2nd and 2. On the jet sweep with Smith in the ball game. Miles Price with a nice dash around the end. It's first down.
Just want to go back to that 100 Black Men of West Texas and just talk about the importance of meeting people where they are, right? When you talk about getting into the community and affecting change, you have to meet them where they are, and sometimes bringing them out of those communities and showing them something different is exactly what they need.
Columbia's pass batted down to the line of scrimmage. A Texas Tech grad and former Hooper here, Darvin Ham, continues to do a great job for the Bucks on their coaching staff as that pass goes incomplete. Darvin Ham was an integral part of the success of the basketball program here at Texas Tech. Then went on to become an NBA player, and right now, I tell you what, he is one of the hot assistant coaching candidates in the NBA. He's going to make a great head coach someday real soon. Catch him tomorrow night at 7:30 on the sidelines as Milwaukee takes on OKC.
Hey, you heard it. You heard it from Mark Jones himself. He watches these guys closely.
3rd and 10. Backside pressure. Columbia just got it off in time as Ezekama with the catch at the 35. It'll be a gain of about 4. Hey, you know who else hooped here at Texas Tech? The father of an NBA All-Star. Rayford Young, Trae Young's dad.
I think I
big time baller here.
I think I know that name.
Yeah. Right now, a loving and doting father. Got great athletic skills and lineage here at Texas Tech. 4th and 5.
Hey, Mark, is this a basketball game? Or is this a football game?
Exclusive home of the NBA Finals. ESPN and ABC. It's 45 to 24 in a slant caught by Ezekama. I tell you what, he might be collecting some commas next year at the next level.
I believe he will. And, you know, I've been kind of frustrated today watching Eric Ezekama go out here and run around and not get the ball thrown to him. So you've seen them make an effort to get him the ball here in the 4th quarter because he is such a dynamic receiver.
Right.
He's only got 5 targets and 3 catches today. I want him to at least get 15.
See what Donovan Smith does here. Hands it off on the jet sweep. And hands it off to Rigdon, who ends up close to that first down marker. Clock running as we approach 5.5 minutes to go. TJ Carter making the tackle on the play. 2nd and 1 from the 6-yard line. 3 personnel coming in for Texas Tech. Tharp, the inside receiver, the top of your screen. The tall target, 6'9". For Columbia. He pulls it out on the RPO and overthrows the guy I was just talking about, Mason Tharp.
You just knew they were going to, with Mason Tharp split out there at 6'9", you knew they were going to try a pop pass, and guess what? Not only did we know it, but TCU knew it, and they didn't bite on the run fake, and that's why Henry Columbia had to throw that ball out the back of the end zone.
See, when I sit down and watch a lot of tape with you, Robert, I can't help but learn something.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. But listen, you're talking about NBA. This dude's 6'9". Why isn't he playing basketball?
Jump shot's broken. That's why they play tight end.
That's probably it. You're probably right.
3rd and 1. Columbia into the end zone again and overshoots his other receiver, Miles Price. And it's 4th and 1 coming up. And of course, they'll go for it with 5:05 to go. In a frustrating afternoon for Columbia. Henry Columbia coming off a nice week last week and that comeback win in Morgantown. But a tough time, and they're missing a bunch of people too. He's 16 of 31, 260 yards with a pick. Donovan Smith coming in for this play. Gives them a few more options in the run game. Thompson sets in the backfield. And a timeout called by the Red Raiders. Pardon me, by TCU. A good time for us to reflect back on some of the storylines as we begin.
They're going to move up by virtue of not playing.
4th and 1. Smith hands it off. Thompson, touchdown, Texas Tech. The lead is down to 14 after the extra point if they make it.
You get the feeling that maybe it's just a little too late, right? A little bit too late for them scoring these points here in the 4th quarter. But I can tell you right now, with 5 minutes left in the game, down 14, it's doable. When I was at Baylor, we played Kansas. We were down by 17 with 7 minutes left in the game. We came back and won that game in overtime. So Texas Tech faithful, game's not over, but your defense is going to need to get a stop here. Your offense is doing their job. Donovan Smith makes a great read. Let's see if they can get a stop when we get back.
ESPN. Meanwhile, hey, keep in mind that the Red Raiders have outscored opponents by a pretty significant margin in the 4th quarter this year. So far, 7-0. But time winding down and running out.
Oh, my. Look at these two.
Onside skip. Oh, wow.
She said, hey, you wanted sons. This is what you get. Right? She knows this is just a walk in the park.
Oh, yeah. And this is a run in the park by Miller. Gone. He got some time today. Touchdown, TCU. 45 yards to Pater.
Well, I asked you to come back to see if Texas Tech could get a stop. Nope, they couldn't get one. Kendre Miller on the zone read. Offensive line is just moving people all over the place all day. And once again, Kendre Miller hits the Jets. He went from 0 to 100 real quick.
That's his 3rd touchdown today, Robert. And they haven't missed a beat without Zach Evans in the 2nd half here. 51 on the board. There's a look at Evans. Biggest cheerleader on the sidelines, as Quint told us a little bit earlier. With 4:51 to go. It's 52-31 as Gary Patterson's crew on the verge of improving to 3-2.
You just watch him. He gets in the hole and he goes whoop sideways like a conveyor belt. And then he hits those Jets. Gary Patterson is diversifying his bonds today. And boy, oh boy, does he have a lot of running backs to divvy it up to.
When Duggan handed off the football, put his hand in the air, he knew it was gone. He knew that Miller was going to crib it. Picture time for Evans.
Yeah, you see him right there. He's having a blast. I don't think anybody's having more fun than he is right now on the sidelines. Got the ponytails rocking. I think he's using the same barrettes as my daughters use.
They worked.
They did work, that's for sure. I don't think we've even talked about offensive coordinator Doug Meacham for TCU and the amazing job that he's done. Obviously, we talked about Sonny Cumbie in Texas Tech and how he's going up against his old squad, but it doesn't look like he's going to get that win today. TCU came out ready to play.
As a look at Coach Meacham. Press the right buttons today, that's for sure.
I'm trying to figure out, is that a coach? I couldn't tell. He's really relaxed. You love to see it.
On the return to Kalen Geiger. Geiger brought down. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. Well, Big 12 now on ESPN Plus.
Women's soccer
Yeah,
team.
you always come up with something on these promos, man.
Listen, all we do is win. And I say we, I mean Baylor University, because I am neutral party. Very good.
Get on Big 12 Plus on ESPN Plus. Xavier White with the catch and run. Got about 5 on the play.
Well, we know for sure this is not how Texas Tech wanted homecoming to go. It's supposed to be a time where everybody's coming back into town, right? Cheering, excited. They got homecoming king and queen.
Right.
Coolio's in town, right? And then they come out here in the game, the biggest show of it all, and it doesn't go the way they want. And Matt Wells even said it's not the same as high school, right? You're not playing Sisters of the Poor when you put these games. They kind of just look at the schedule and boom, this is when homecoming is going to be. I know they wanted a better performance today, but as you see here,
nice catch by Price.
Miles Price with a nice catch and run. They've never quit. I think that's the biggest thing I've noticed about Texas Tech. The DNA they have in that locker room and what Matt Wells is building is good DNA, and they've shown it. They haven't quit all day, and good for them.
27-yard gain. Columbia completes it to White out of the backfield. Nice run, but brought down. Let's go to Quint.
Yeah, no doubt. This is a scrappy group, and this was a big week for them. Obviously, coming off that emotional win at West Virginia. You had homecoming, the announcement of a new facility. They got 80 recruits on campus today.
Wow.
It's a late game on Saturday. Not easy to get to Lubbock, so they're able to stack a lot of recruits on site today in their indoor facility. So, we'll see what a day like this can yield going forward for this program. But I am impressed with their effort. They've been down since the first quarter. They haven't quit.
I'm going to say something about homecoming, okay, Robert?
Okay.
York University, where I went to school, our football team, I think we won 2 games my first 2 years at school there. Okay. I was on the hoop team, right? Of course. We were on everyone's homecoming schedule. I mean, we were the automatic W for the other team at pass complete. It was so bad, the rumor was we brought our own float.
Brought their own float
to the other school's homecoming parade. I
got to piggyback off that. When I first got to Baylor, we were also the homecoming game for a lot of teams. They don't schedule us for homecoming anymore.
Progress, 3rd and 2. Columbia down the sidelines behind Trey Cleveland, incomplete. 4th down, come up with 3:08 to go.
The thing we haven't mentioned today is just how many emotional ties are in this game. We talked about Sonny Cumby, but we also got Gary Patterson, who was the DB coach when Coach Matt Wells was playing quarterback at Utah State. So they definitely wanted to get this one off of TCU, but Gary Patterson said, look, man, the game has not passed me by. I'm not old news. Our defensive scheme will improve. And he came out and proved the point today in a crossroads game for TCU.
Fourth and 2, backside heat. That pass incomplete over the middle. Broken up by Carter, intended for Price. And TCU will take over on downs with 3:02 to go.
The player that he is today, and he feels like, man, when you love these guys so much, it's hard to move on and not have those ties.
Downing in at quarterback now, and he hands it off to DeMarque Foster. Gary Patterson's been the head coach at TCU for 21 years, and you don't survive this long in the coaching fraternity as a head coach unless you're able to transition and reinvent yourself and continue to evolve. He's done just that in a very personal way, too. When we spoke to him yesterday, we talked about the last 18 months, going back to the time of racial strife in this country, the pandemic. And he said that he's become a much better listener. He's learned a lot about his players, his African-American players, his entire team, where they're from, their backgrounds. And he says overall he's become a much better listener from a man, he told us, that grew up in rural Kansas, which is not the most diverse area, but that really speaks to his ability to listen, to evolve, and continue to learn. And hats off, shout out to that guy, Gary Patterson.
Yeah, he said his legacy cannot just be about wins and losses. And I think that's what I took the most from what he said. To keep it a buck, he didn't grow up with black people in his life.
Right.
But when you don't know the plight of black people in this country, what do you have to do? You have to listen. He took that upon himself to do that last year. Kudos to him for that.
Foster close to the first down, but there's a flag down. See what this flag is about.
You sure that's a flag and not a tortilla?
Unless they paint them yellow.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist. Offense number 12, block low from the side, 15-yard penalty. Third down.
Let's take a look at tonight's Fighting Spirit moment brought to you by Modelo. And they have really done a great job, TCU, on the ground by committee. Miller that time. It was Evans early. And the two of them did a lot of the heavy lifting and lunging into the end zone. Sprints across the field various times. TCU with 392 yards on the ground. A total of almost 500 yards of offense. Impressive numbers on the afternoon.
And you think they try to run for 8 more before they to get that 400? However many more they need.
Round it off a little bit. Hasn't been much of a fight. 52-31. And speaking of fights, on ESPN Plus tonight, you can order the big one. Who you taking in that heavyweight title bout? You can get it on ESPN Plus. You can order it.
Listen.
Come on, man.
My culture won't let me pick against Deontay Wilder. I'm hoping that he worked on.
What about your wallet?
My wallet?
Yeah.
I'm not betting on anybody, but listen, it's a great fight. Right. Tyson Fury, big, sweet feet, 6'9". I mean, he might be taller than that now.
Yeah.
He's a technician, but Deontay Wilder has that power, man. And what I'm hoping for is a fight like the first fight, where they take it the distance. Maybe something happens in the later rounds, but I do not want to see a fight like the second fight because it looked like Deontay Wilder was outmatched. But power is always the equalizer. I think he gets it done this time.
Wilder had no answers in that last one. Texas Tech comes after the punter, Jordy Sandy, who gets it off. Fair catch called right around the 40-yard line by McLean Mannix with 38 seconds to go. This is a trophy game. It's a battle for the saddle. And right now, after 2 consecutive losses, Texas Tech was hoping to get it back, but it might be staying on that Horned Frog sideline.
That's what it seems like. You know, today we didn't get a chance to get to the threes keys, but one of them was bottle up Max, veto the run, and next man up. And I tell you what, they didn't bottle up Max Duggan. They did not stop the run. And the next man up did not get the plays done for Texas Tech today.
So after a very promising game last week and a win on the road in Morgantown, Texas Tech loses at home. They're going to fall to 4-2. 1-1 in conference play. Meanwhile, Texas Christian, TCU, will break their modest, short 2-game losing streak and improve to 3-2 and make it 3 consecutive wins against Texas Tech. They may not own the Jones, but they might have a lease on it. They've come in and had success of late. And a pass complete to the 33.
I was going to say, I thought this was your stadium. Hey. Mark Jones and Jones AT&T Stadium. Come on now.
Hey, I didn't sign enough checks to get my name on it here.
Before we go, I just want to give one more shout out to TCU safeties coach Paul Gonzalez. Just had a baby. Him and his wife Noelle welcomed Chase Patrick Gonzalez on Thursday. And more life into this world is a beautiful thing.
And a blessing. A pass incomplete, although it almost appeared it was backwards. 11 seconds to go.
Don't want this to get lost on the Texas Tech faithful out there. No one thought Texas Tech would be 4-1 at this point. If they go to 4-2, they get a win next week against Kansas. All the things that they wanted for this year are still out there in front of them. And I wouldn't bet against Matt Wells in this group. They can get it back turned around for themselves.
Thompson on the carry. And that'll be the last play of the game. That'll do it. TCU will improve to 3-2 by virtue of a 52-31 win. And the battle of the saddle and battle for the saddle goes to Texas Christian University. And Gary Patterson storms into Lubbock and takes home the dub.